Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is May 11th, 2021, and this is episode 295. Magic is what we're looking at today. This is the number one. Boom Studios. It comes in at a whopping $4.99, and Indie made a big mistake on this one. I thought this was a brand new comic. This is actually a second printing that I picked up. Apparently it came out about a month ago, and it's the other mistake I made is it actually has to do with Magic the Gathering. And that's what all these reviews I saw on it. And I'm giving this a not recommend, except for Magic players. And I'll get into that in a little bit here. But I just really quick want to go through, since this came out a month ago, there were some reviews that I did look at, and I'll give you a quick rundown of some of them that I saw there. Just about everybody else is recommending it. Graphic Policy says check it out. Sparks Comics recommends. Rated Comics is looking forward to it. Wildbeard reviews, great place to jump on. Comic Book Club liked it. And Uncanny George has big hopes for this series. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm not recommending it personally. And it doesn't have anything to do with Magic the Gathering at all. I don't play that game. I'm not that familiar with it. I do have a couple starter packs at home that I've never really broken open and looked at or played. But my problem with this is the way the setup of the story went. And let's get into that right away. Jed Mackay is the writer on this. The illustration is done by Igwara, and the illustrations are beautiful in here. The coloring is done very well as well, and that's Ariana Consoni. I hope I said that right. And it's lettered by Ed Dukeshire. Okay, now I'll get into the problems I have with this. The way that Jed Mackay set this story up, he goes into all this detail about multi-universes and planes and all this stuff, and at times he almost seems to contradict himself, and that doesn't appear to be that important to the story right off, and we get a few pages of this. He talks about this whole universe and the planes, but there's only one place where it's really happening, and then he lists all these other places for some reason, but the main place is called Ravnica. Okay. And as you can see, it's kind of this mishmash of things with floating cities. And I'm assuming this is where the 10 guilds are each located in one of these floating cities or castles. Looks like Star Castle. If you were a child of the 70s, you might remember a band called Star Castle. Their album covers look like that. But it doesn't look all that appealing to me in this picture, but it is a mishmash. And then he goes into a short description of it. It's a city that stretches from horizon to horizon, inhabited by 1,000 cultures, home to countless wonders and terrors. It actually sounds like LA County to me, but it's Ravnica. As you can see, you get the different type things here. And then specifically, he talks about 3 guilds, 3 of the 10 guilds. And we get like these combinations, and suddenly these 3 guilds are attacked, and you're trying to keep them separate. And this is where the storytelling, I think, goes way off track, because we've already gotten all this fluff of all these things. I think if they would have started with one character and just brought it along, it would have been much more dynamic, much more interesting, and we could have built on it that way. Otherwise, I think this is mainly for the card-carrying public of Magic the Gathering. Otherwise, I think someone's will get lost. Now, other guys that reviewed this said no, they thought it was pretty easy and to understand what was going on, but I don't have any invested interest in any of these characters that are getting attacked, and it's hard to tell what their powers are or what they're going to do or what's going on, and we just get this fighting, but each guild is separately taking on some kind of set of assassins, and they don't know where these assassins come from. And after all of it, they're able to put down the this assassination attempt made on all three guild leaders. And this drawing's pretty cool. It's like a Medusa type character. I think her name's like Vrasco or Vraska, something like that. And after it's all said and done, they capture one of the guilds is able to capture one, so they can question him, and they bring him into this guy named Jace Bellarine, I think his name is, and everybody seems to like this guy. Here he is. He looks, like a handsome guy. Jace Bellarine, I'm sorry. And he starts to question this prisoner, this assassin, and the assassin transforms into this. I'm thinking, why didn't they just come at him like this before? That looks a lot more terrifying. Is able to knock one of the guild leaders of the Senate over and kind of escapes down a drain pipe. And that's the end of the first issue. So, but the art looks glorious, that's for sure. So it's hard for me to get excited about it, because I don't know if I like any of these characters, or if I should like any of these characters, or if I should like Ravnica, or what. If there's somebody I should be cheering for, I just don't know at this time. I'm sure other things will be filled in at this time, but it just seems like the universe is so huge for them to start at this viewpoint. I was trying to absorb all these names at the beginning, and that didn't even come to play in the comic at all at this point. So I'll just forget it. And if they bring them up the next issue, I've totally forgotten them, because there were so many. So I'm going to step off this one. Like I said, this is going to be a recommendation for people that play the game and are probably a little bit more familiar with some of these characters. It'll be easier for them to remember them. Here's a cover for Magic the 2. It's coming out this month already. And so I will not be reviewing this one, but if this looks good to you, jump on it. To me, there were a lot of people that reviewed it that said it was really good. They really liked it. I just thought they gave you such a little bit of story. I wanted more story. I wanted someone I could root for, and I didn't get that at all. So I'm stepping away from it on this one. Okay. Let's see what else Boom's got going on. 7 Secrets. I've got a story about 7 Secrets that will be coming up in another review. I think it's 7 Secrets. That was another accidental buy. Okay, Mighty Morphins. So Boom is actually doing really well. They've got a few comics that I think I'm enjoying a lot. Coda. Don't know anything about that. There's another ad for 7 Secrets. And then just some more here. Here's the one that's been their big hit over the last few months, Berserker. I did review the first two issues of this, and I gave it a recommend. I'm going to step away from it only because I've already purchased the next 3 trade paperbacks on an Indiegogo. I didn't know they were going to do this individual thing like they are. So I am getting those trades. Maybe I'll do a review on those once they're all done. Okay, so it's hard for me to give this the Indie Comics Jones Good Excavating seal of approval, given out only by Indie Comics Jones, but I do appreciate you stopping by and listening to my review of Magic. And they kept saying, this is it. It doesn't say Magic the Gathering anywhere. So I didn't realize this was Magic the Gathering. Now I see that little symbol there. That kind of rings a bell. But all the reviews were saying, oh, this is Magic the Gathering. So I guess they were a little more in tune than I was on this. But I appreciate you stopping by. Please like, please subscribe, please leave comments, and we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. As always, this is Indie Comics Jones, bringing you the finest comics in the world, bidding you adieu.